Welcome to part 44 and welcome to the Gerudo Training Grounds. Now this is an optional dungeon, 100% optional. You do not have to complete this dungeon in order to beat the game. It's pretty much a nice distraction if you just want to be a completionist, you want to get every item in your inventory. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm going to get an item that will help fill up my inventory. Yeah. So this place here is a place where the Gerudo train to hone in their skills and whatnot. And they do so by going through various rooms like I'm about to do and completing various tasks. And the goal here of this mini dungeon here is we need to gather small keys. Now if we gather enough small keys, we will be able to go into the treasure room and get the big treasure in the center. Now, basically, these trials consist of, for example, this room right here. We have to defeat the Stalfos in under a minute, and there's also the added danger of this sand that if we stand on it too long, we'll sink underneath, and that'd be terrible. Now, the rooms, basically, each one of these rooms, we have to complete a task to move on, and some of them do not yield small keys. So some of them just open the door so that we can move on to a room that has a small key. So yeah. Alright, now of course in this room coming up we have to collect silver rupees in a limited amount of time. And yeah, I screwed up the first attempt because I ran out of time. Basically, we have to gather silver rupees, and the dangers include boulders from the left and right side of the room of falling down, and there are bottomless pits at the very end. These openings that look like openings, in fact, they're really actually firewalls. Pretty much firewalls that catch you by surprise. Also, there's also a wall master in the area, so you gotta be careful. Like in those safe corridors, safe areas. Yeah, you gotta be careful of those. And of course, again, there's a time limit, so you want to make sure you get the rupees in a reasonable amount of time. And once we get all 5 silver rupees, the door will open and the timer will stop. Thank goodness. And of course, when we get to the door here that will lead us out here, there is a flame wall right in front of it, and we have to use the hookshot target in order to cross over it. So yeah. And of course, in this next room, we will be facing 4 Wolfos, and they can be easily defeated. And of course, this room right here. There are actually 2 doors right here. Now, this one here with the symbol right there, this pathway, we can't go that way at the moment because we lack the necessary item. However, there is another way we can get out of here. And here's a hint. It is above that fake door. Basically, what we want to do is use the lens of truth to see a hookshot target and to pretty much latch on and move on from there. So yeah. Now that symbol there that appears on all the blocks, all the switches, everywhere that we've gone throughout the game, yeah, that's actually the Gerudo symbol. That is the symbol of this tribe. Now, why would it appear on traps and whatnot? Well, it's because it would make sense because Ganondorf is pretty much responsible for all of the temples, all of the dungeons being the way they are or were until Link completed them. And he still wants to keep his origin about being a Gerudo, so he would put Gerudo symbols on the traps and whatnot. So yeah. And here's a little controversy with the Gerudo symbol. The original versions of the game, the Nintendo 64 cartridges versions, I believe, the symbol was actually different. In fact, the symbol was actually a crescent moon with a star. Now, this caused controversy with the whole religious Islam community, and in subsequent re-releases and further further modifications. They changed it to that current symbol that we've seen throughout the game. So yeah. Anyway, the goal of this room is we need to shoot all the statues in the eye, and once we completely kill all, well, shoot all the statues in the eye, a treasure chest will appear, and it will contain a small key. Now, this lava right here is not like the lava in the fire temple. If you fall down this lava, it will be treated like you would fall down a bottomless pit, and you would start back at the beginning of the room. In fact, I'm going to do so in this video because I screwed up somewhere, because what I was supposed to do earlier, I was supposed to play the Scarecrow song at a certain point to summon Pierre, so that I would have a way back up to the upper ledge, because once we shoot the eye switches, the chest will appear and the door above will unseal, and we need to get into that door because it will also contain another small key. And again, gathering small keys are important because yeah. And I'm back at the beginning with less health. See, again, do that or summon Pierre right here, it doesn't matter. Anyway, here's another small key to gather. Now how many small keys do we have to get here? Well, it depends on which way you are going to go to get the treasure. Yeah, there are in fact 2 ways you can get the treasure, but I'll explain more about that when you get there. In fact, I want to go ahead and backtrack a little, saying that we actually have to, the bare amount of keys you actually need to get before going into the treasure room. Here's a little hint: you only need 6. Count them, 6. And there are a grand total of 9 keys in this mini dungeon, so make note of that. Anyway, this room here reminds you of the fire temple with all the fire slugs and fire keys and fire. And there are those totem poles that when you strike down with the megaton hammer, they will be moved aside and suddenly vanish. And we need to find a hidden switch in this room to not only unseal the door, but to remove the flames around this treasure chest, which contains another small key. Anyway, now somebody asked about how do the Gerudo mate, how do they produce offspring, how does their race survive? Well, here's what I've read online and through various wikis and all that. Basically, the Gerudo females, basically they go into Hyrule Town to pretty much hook up with guys for at least a night. In fact, one of the gossip stones, I believe there's one near the Temple of Time, that does mention that the Gerudo females go into town to look for boyfriends. I mean, they have to make sure their race survives. So yeah, anyway, they go into town, they get together with men, they become pregnant and produce more Gerudo. And pretty much 99% of the time these females give birth, they pretty much are, they pretty much become, well, they pretty much give birth to other females. I mean, I don't know how it works. Is it magic? Is it what? Is it science? I'm not sure. Anyway, basically, the 1% that a Gerudo female does not give birth to, it's pretty much a male, obviously. Yeah, the 1% Gerudo gives birth to a male, and according to Gerudo law, the male automatically becomes king of the Gerudo people. Now, of course, this time around, the Gerudo male that was born, Ganondorf, so that ought to be, that's nice. That's good for the people who are currently suffering right now. Goody. Anyway, this here, we have to do another silver rupee puzzle, but I am not going to. No. I am not going to do this silver rupee puzzle because I already have 4 keys, and like I said earlier, you need a bare minimum of 6 before going into the treasure room. So, but thankfully there is a treasure, there is a small key actually on this platform right here. Now, to get to this platform, stand right here and play the play the Song of Time to produce some time blocks. And we can use those to climb up, grab the small key, and actually leave this room. If we collect all the silver rupees here in this room, it will unseal a door, which will take us to another small key. But there is another door that's already open that we can go to, which will allow us to continue on through this training ground. Oh, and that passageway in front of the small key, that leads us to the treasure room, and we do not want to go in that way. We do not want to go in that way. Anyway, I'm done. I am not collecting those silver rupees, so what you can actually do from around here is you can actually long shot over to the wooden torch to pull yourself across, and we will move on to this next room. Now again, and this next room here will be our very last room of this training ground. Yes, this training ground goes in a complete circle. So if you want to start from this room, you can actually, and that's nice. Anyway, this room contains a big Beamos, and these big old lizard things, they're called the Dino Foals. Now the Dino Foals are essentially pretty much the bigger cousin of the lizard foes, and they're pretty much just as weak, especially with the Bigoron sword. Of course, afterwards we have to kill the Beamos. I lied, it was actually one of the normal small Beamos, and yeah. Anyway, with that done, we get our 6th small key, and now when we go through that door right there, we can actually go in. We are actually back in the main area, and we can actually go on into the treasure room. Now, of course, these ledges right here, they somehow this little mini temple plays a cruel joke, because as you can see here, there are flame walls right here that are blocking these recovery hearts, and it's not worth getting the recovery hearts just to take some more damage. So yeah. Alright, now to get to the treasure room, head through the middle door, the middle lion's head door. Now when we get inside, there are 2 ways we can go, the left or the right. Now if you got only 6 small keys when you enter here, go left, because it'll only take 7 keys to get to the treasure chest. Now, like I said, coming here with 6, the reason why is, if you start from the left, when you get through that first locked door, there's actually a invisible ceiling, and when you climb this fence right here, there is a treasure chest that contains another small key. And this means we now have enough small keys to make it all the way to the treasure chest. Yeah, so basically the bare minimum amount of keys you need to complete this thing is 7. Now, that is if you are going to get to the treasure chest from the left. If you decide to go from the right, then you must get every single small key in the training grounds. And there are a grand total of 9. So, yeah, it's best to go ahead, get the 6, head for the treasure room, get that hidden key from above the hidden ceiling, and make your way to the treasure chest that way. It's shorter, easier, and we can be out of here much quicker. And with that, we have made it to the big treasure chest. So what is inside? What is the Gerudo's treasure? What is this? Ice arrows. The ice arrows, huh? Are they worth it? Not really, no. I mean, they do freeze enemies and stuff, but that's pretty much all they do. There's nothing else to do with them. I mean, they're pretty much for your item collection to make your set more complete. I mean, you get fire arrows on one slot below them. The ice arrows will now appear, and yeah. So, it's not worth all the trouble. Although, if you do complete this training ground before going into the Shadow Temple, you can use the ice arrows to freeze Bongo Bongo's hands. So, what do you think of that? So, yeah. So, again, this dungeon is 100% optional. We do not have to come here. In fact, if you just want to go ahead and skip this video and head straight to part 45, I won't blame you, because in part 45 we will actually be moving on from the Gerudo Fortress into the Spirit Temple, or at least the path to the Spirit Temple. So yeah. Now, this video is pretty much for those who want to get 100% completion on their file. They want to get every single nook and cranny this game has to offer, and there are those out there who want to get every single nook and cranny out there. So, alright. I'll see you in part 45, folks.